Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the WHS Show. I'm your host, Aaron Joy, and with me is the head coach of the Massillon Tigers, Coach Hose. We want to thank our season-long sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Coach, welcome to the show.
Always excited to be here, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
Well, to start off, your Tigers are now at 12-8 following a road win this Saturday at Austin-Town Fitch. More on that game in a moment. Let's start with last Tuesday night's loss at North Canton Hoover. Tell us about that game.
It's a rough week for us. Hoover, we did not play very well. We went over there and I don't know what the circumstances were, mentally, but we just kind of started sluggish. We've been really struggling putting the ball in the hoop, which never helps either. And scored 38 points over there against the Hoover team that turned around and beat McKinley Friday night. So they're a good team, and they're playing well right now. We try to tell our guys that. So it wasn't like we played poorly or didn't have effort. We just couldn't finish. We had a couple good looks at the hoop a couple times, and just couldn't get the ball fall in the hoop. And sometimes that's a tough thing. But we learned from that game. Hopefully, Friday we turned around and we struggled against Louisville. So. It's just one of those things. Like right now, I think it's a mental thing with our guys. They got to see that ball go through the basket, which helped us. You referenced Saturday, got a couple early baskets go in on Saturday, and it changed the whole mentality. So we got to be tougher than that mentally and go in and just play our game no matter what, and the shots will fall. But definitely helps to see the ball go through the hoop.
Well, then on Friday night, right here on WHS-TV. Your team fell behind early, took a brief lead in the fourth quarter, but eventually lost to Louisville. What can you tell us about that game as well?
Well, you referenced it. You mentioned it, 13-2. I think in the 15-2 in the first quarter, something like that. And again, we had some great looks and just even point blank shots, like not even threes, not going in, but it was like layups or putbacks that were falling out. And our kids, really struggled in that first quarter and dug ourselves a hole, but we dug ourselves out of it. They played great effort in the second half, and with just defensive effort mentality was great. Nick Liebler hits a three in the corner to take the lead into that game, or in the fourth quarter of that game. But the problem is, like typical of how things have been going for us, is we take that lead and then we turn around and give up a layup on the other end to give the lead back. And we took a 1 point lead and turned it like a 4 or 5 point deficit, in the blink of an eye. Like we kind of relaxed. We lost our edge there for a second. And then we battled back and had some opportunities towards the end there to tie it up or take a lead. But, just digging yourself a hole like we did doesn't help. And, again, when you're not shooting the ball well, we had some great looks. Nick had another look there to take the lead right after that in the opposite corner and, didn't go in. And Grant and Vari both had really good looks overall all night, and had several balls go in and out, and so we're relying on guys like that to make shots. And when the ball's not going in, you have to keep gritting through it, and our guys did. They kept themselves in the game, and I think we went back and looked at the stats. It was like a 30s. We shot somewhere around 38% effective field goal percentage, where Louisville was around 63%. So to be in a game like that shows you a tribute to the kids' grit and toughness. And Creighton, I think we got 20 more shots up than them between turnovers and offensive rebounds. And when you're not making shots, you have to find ways to get the ball back, and our guys did that. And so very proud of the battle they had. We'd love to have won that one, and Tuesday is yes, but a lot of times you can go through these points of the season where you have these off games, and I told our guys after that game, I said, guys, we have not been blown out in one game this year. Last year we got blown out in a couple games where we just didn't play well or shoot well. This year we've been able to stay in games no matter what, and it shows you a lot of fight and grit in our kids, and those are the type of teams you like to coach, because you always have a fighting chance if you have a team that doesn't quit. And so we learned a lot from those two, and I think it helped us pay off on the road on Saturday to get a win.
Now the good news, speaking about that road win on Saturday at Austin-Town Fitch, I'm sure you're glad to put one in the win column.
Absolutely. I think it was meant for our confidence, just that feel good of, when you're fighting and you're staying in games like we talked about. It's great, but winning cures a lot of that, a lot of those struggles. And so we shook up the lineup a little bit. Starting lineup we did a little differently just to try to get a better start to the game, and it worked. And we had, like I said, we had a couple guys hit some shots early. Guys come off the bench and hit some shots. It was a different vibe and energy to that. And I think we led that whole game almost wire to wire. And it was pretty close to, just not a dominant performance, but a very complete performance. Our guys overall played very well. They have a really good player. He's a Division I football player going to West Virginia. Plays for them, averages 20-some points a game. He got 24. We knew he was going to score. 6'5" kid's a really hard matchup. We don't have somebody who can match up with him necessarily, but we did a good job of limiting the other guys to below their averages, and so that's where probably the success was right there on the defensive end. And then offensively, like I said, got some shots to go in. Took some good. We've been taking great shots. I can't fault our kids' shot selection. We've had great looks, and so we got a couple of those to fall. And I mean, go on the road. I'd say a tough environment in the fact that some of the calls early didn't go our way, and our kids they just stayed true to the process, and they stuck with it. And talk to a guy coming up here, Cam, who made a great baseline move, reverse layup for us. He's just been an instant offense spark plug for us coming off the bench, and as a senior, has really done great things for us down the stretch here. So it was good to see a lot of guys contributing to get a W in that win column, like you said.
Sounds nice. Yeah. Now, in a moment, we'll meet with another Tiger player. But first, this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Thanks to Reliable Heating and Cooling, and welcome back to the Josh O Show. Our Tiger player this week is senior guard Cam Bergie. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, Cam. How old were you when you first started playing basketball, and who taught you the game as you were growing up?
I was about 6 or 7, and my dad always put me through drills and everything with my brother Jaden.
What did you do in the off season to make yourself better?
Waking up early, getting here, putting in work, getting on the shooting gun, and working on my handles.
Did you set any personal goals going into your senior year on the basketball team?
Just doing whatever it takes to win, help the team.
As a senior, what is your role on this year's team?
Be a spark plug off the bench, do whatever it takes.
And as far as your personal skill set, what are your strengths and what areas do you think you want to get better in?
My strengths, I would consider my mid-range game. And for defense, that's what I need to work on, and my handles and 3-ball.
And finally, the team's record heading into the final week of the regular season is 12-8. How do you see the rest of the season playing out?
I see us going pretty far because, like I said, teams don't like to stick with teams that are gritty and do the little things. And it's tough to beat. It's tough to beat teams like that because they never go away. And I consider us that type of team.
Thanks for joining us, Cam. Coach Hose will rejoin the show when we return after this timeout.
Hey, chat. Why do I wear a mask? Because when I'm not behind the screen, my mask is my cheat code. And when we stop the spread, we level up. What's the next level? Hanging with friends again. You're right, masks have always been a part of our community. I miss you guys too. Being face-to-face is truly the next level. Here's the cheat code. Stop the spread of corona. Mask up, America.
And welcome back to the Josh O Show. Coach, we just spoke to senior guard Cam Bergie. Tell us more about the contributions Cam has made to this team.
Oh, as a senior, Cam has been really important to us, and I just really admire him and his game. He's come in and, a kid that didn't play a lot of minutes for us last year as a junior, playing behind some good seniors and some other juniors in his class. It's a deep class. It's a really talented group. But he's really come in and given us a spark off the bench every time he's come in. And to be honest with you, we probably need to be finding him more minutes. And so as coaches, we were talking about that. Like, he is coming in and providing instant offense for us, and he's doing a really good job of just, being efficient in his looks and his confidence, coming in and just taking really good shots that are in his spots that he likes to shoot the ball. And, he played really big for us. The Benedictine game, I thought he gave us great minutes, giving us a spark off the bench there, scoring-wise, and then played some really good defense. And so, just admired Cam because he hasn't hung his head when things weren't going his way early in the year when he wasn't getting as many minutes, and he stayed truthful and he stayed prepared, and it's paying off for him. He's coming down the stretch here. He's playing some really good basketball for us. He's a key part of our group coming through in our rotation as we get to the end of the season here.
Now, your Tiger players have just 2 games left in the regular season before starting tournament, playing a week from this Saturday. As we record this show on Wednesday, your scheduled game last night at Warren Harding was postponed until tonight.
Correct.
So what can you tell us about tonight's opponent, Warren G. Harding?
So Warren Harding, we played him twice the last 2 years. We played him 2 times in the season. This year we went back to playing him once. So we're getting into him. Usually this would be the second time we're playing him, but we've been, I think we split with them the past 2 years. So this year we just get one crack, and they're struggling a bit, but they've played a really good schedule. That Warren area, that Youngstown area, they're playing a lot of teams there. So there's some common opponents there. We've watched some film on them against Boardman and Canfield, some of those teams that we're familiar with. And they've been in a lot of games. They've been close. They're struggling to finish out games. They got some talented kids, a couple kids back from last year's group. They lost some key kids, which I think is where their struggle area has been. But, we got to go up there. It's a tough place to play. We struggled up there last year, early in the year, and then we lost to them at home. We beat them at home. I'm sorry, we lost to them at their place 2 years ago too. So we haven't won there in 2 years. So it's going to be a big thing for us to go up there and get a win on the road up at their place. Usually it's like I said, they're ready to play at home. We struggled to score there last year. Just a combination of things. But I think they're going to kind of throw a lot at us defensively, so we got to be prepared for that. And the teams have been throwing some different mixes at us, which has prepared us for that game. But they don't have that one guy like we've seen a couple teams that we've come through. It has that one kid you got to stop. So they're more of a balanced attack, which is similar to us. So it's going to be a good game for us to get ready for tournaments. It's, like I said, an athletic, aggressive team. But they're also, a team that, they throw a lot at you. So it prepares you for, a lot of things you may see down the road.
On Friday night, you'll have your final game of the regular season as you play at Glen Oak. How about a scouting report on the Golden Eagles?
Oh, so Glen Oak, Coach Hack does a really good job over there, and he's had a team this year that they lost. Kind of like us, they lost a big percentage of their offense from last year in their team. They came back and they had a really good start to the year. They kind of had that midseason lull, and then they seem to be on the uptrend here towards the end of the year. But playing in the Federal League, they're going to have it's a grind every night. You have a tough game no matter who you're playing. So. I know Coach Hack tends to like the zone and man and mix it up. Offensively, they'll space you out and do a little bit of 5-out look. They'll do a 1-3-1 look with a lot of screening. They got a great shooter in Sam Oliver. They're going to set him up a lot and play off of him. And they got a couple of big guys inside that don't necessarily play inside. They play a little bit more outside, the taller guys. So like I said, they mix it up. They played a lot of teams that we've played. I don't have a great scouting report on them yet because we've been focusing more so on the Warren. And then last week with the busy week we had, we were really focused in there. So, Glen Oak's going to be another game. It's going to be tough on the road over there. We've played there quite a bit the last couple of years, just between playing them and then playing some of their classics. So it's kind of a familiar environment for us. And we tend to, I think, other than one game, I think we've played really well in their gym. So, last regular season game before tournaments, our kids will be ready. It'll be a good tournament primer because then we have a week off until we play the winner in that Stowe Hudson game on the following Saturday.
As you play these final 2 games of the regular season, what are some things you, your coaches, and players will be focusing on the most?
I think we're really focusing in on getting ready for the tournament. Obviously we want to win these 2, get on a positive trend going into the tournament, and get that momentum because it'd be to have an opportunity to go on a 3-game win streak going into it. Is always a good good thing for mentality and the momentum piece and just your overall team's kind of vibe. But we're going to focus on some rotation movements. We're trying to mix Darian Williams back in. He's gotten some clearance to play about 8 to 10 minutes a night, and so that throws a little bit of a adjustment into there. But yeah, we're just trying to focus in on fine tuning the things that we do. Actually, we're at the point where we're kind of like trimming the fat. We're trying to get rid of some things that maybe we don't run as much and don't need to work on, and kind of streamline our focus onto being this type of team and kind of focus in on defensively. We're mostly a man team, but we do run a couple zones, so we've been practicing them a little bit. Offensively, we do a lot of dribble drive action, but we've also been focusing on a couple other sets and just kind of limit our things so we can really focus on being really good at what we do and not overwhelm our kids with too much X and O's. And I think these 2 games will be a great opportunity to kind of focus in on those key areas.
Thanks, Coach. As we wrap up another edition of the Josh Hose Show, we want to thank Reliable Heating and Cooling for being our season-long sponsor. Thanks to Coach Hose, Senior Cam Bergie, for joining us this week on the show. I'm your host, Aaron Joy. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our career technical education department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.